I love teaching French, and I'm out here in the portable. So tomorrow I'm going to get to meet some of the, I think, cohort B people. Most people are online, but tomorrow I'll get to meet some of cohort B, and then next week I'll get to meet some of the people in cohort A who come to school as well. Um, so what I'd like to do now, I asked you online to be ready to introduce yourself, to say "Je m'appelle," and to write something that you like, okay? Or say something that you like j'aime, I like, whatever. And if you don't know how to say it in French, you can totally say it in English, okay? So I will start off for everybody. And if you're ready to answer, okay, you can write moi in the chat. For those of you who were not here, moi just looks like this, MOI. Moi, that means me. So I can choose you next, okay? So I'll start us off. Bonjour, je m'appelle Madame Vengara et j'aime le chocolat. Par exemple, it doesn't have to be anything complicated, something really, really simple. Okay? Would anyone else like to start us off after me? Just to say je m'appelle, and I'll write it here for you. Je m'appelle, which is my name is. Je m'appelle, and you say your name, and then you can say j'aime, which means I like, whatever. D'accord? S'il vous plaît. Oui, merci, Koshi.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Koshi et j'aime une musique.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Bravo. Someone else. I need some volunteers or I'm going to have to start voluntelling. Hey, awesome, merci. Oui, John.
Bonjour, je m'appelle John. J'aime jouer au soccer.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Bravo. Moi aussi, me too. Oui, merci, Kevin.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Kevin et j'aime la pizza.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Moi aussi. Awesome, merci. Oui, Jasraj.
Je m'appelle Jasraj et j'aime le basketball.
Très bien, le basketball. Bravo. Merci beaucoup. Oui, Cassie.
Je m'appelle Cassie et j'aime le jeu.
Très bien, merci. Oui, Keen.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Keen. J'aime le, or is it low? The water.
Water? Oui, l'eau.
Yes, low, okay.
L'eau, très bien. Merci beaucoup. Bravo, merci. Oui, Ariane.
Je m'appelle Ariane and j'aime le football américain.
D'accord, très bien. Merci beaucoup. Et puis, oui, Simran. Oh, pardon.
Bonjour. Bonjour, je m'appelle Simran et j'aime jouer au hockey.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Sorry, Kyle.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Kyle et j'aime basketball.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et puis, Laura.
Je m'appelle Laura et j'aime ma famille.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Bravo. Et oui, Nicholas. Go ahead, Nicholas. Nicholas, I'm afraid we can't hear you. Okay, we'll try again. We'll try again soon, okay? S'il te plaît, Sébastien.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sébastien et j'écoute de la musique.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et oui, Gershon.
Je m'appelle Gershon, j'aime jouer basketball.
Très bien, bravo. Et merci, Archie.
Je m'appelle Archie et j'aime les chiens.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et oui, Hadia. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did. Je m'appelle Aria et j'aime écouter de la musique.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et puis Tremaine.
Je m'appelle Tremaine et j'aime shoes.
Sorry, one more time, a little bit louder.
Je m'appelle Tremaine, j'aime shoes.
D'accord, merci beaucoup. Oui, vas-y, Sanji.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sanji. J'aime jouer au basketball.
Bravo, très bien, merci. Okay, Nicholas, go for it. Nope. Didn't work, I'm sorry. What's the something that you were going to say you like? J'aime? You can write it down in the chat for us. J'aime jouer au hockey. Très bien, merci beaucoup. Good stuff. Assis.
Je m'appelle Assis. J'aime regarder Netflix.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et toi, Kayla?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Kayla. J'aime mes amis.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et toi, Melissa?
Je m'appelle Melissa et j'aime baking.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et toi, Michaela?
Je m'appelle Michaela et j'aime musique.
Très bien, merci. Et Sanya?
Je m'appelle Sanya et j'aime jouer.
Très bien, merci. Et toi, Precious, can you write down something that you aime? Something you like? J'aime. Jouer au volleyball. Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et s'il te plaît, Peter?
Je m'appelle Peter. J'aime les animés.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et Anton, s'il te plaît.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Anton et j'aime les jeux vidéo.
Tu aimes les jeux vidéo. Très bien, merci. Et quoi? Très bien. What's something that you like? You can say it in English. J'aime. J'aime means I like, and then you can say something that you like in English if you don't know how to say it in French. Très bien, merci beaucoup. Good stuff. And Toya.
Je m'appelle Toya, j'ai joué au badminton.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. That was awesome, guys. Très bien. Excellent. So in this course this year, we're going to focus a lot on speaking. So that means that because we're not going to do presentations very much, because most of the time, more than half of you are not in class, what I'm going to get you to do so that I can hear you speaking is you're going to be recording stuff on something called Flipgrid. Okay, so I'm going to give you a chance to put stuff together, to write it out, short, simple sentences. Okay. I noticed that a lot of you, one of the things you would really like to do this year that you said was speak French fluently. And I hate to tell you, not going to happen. Okay. Even my grade 12s can't speak French fluently yet. What we're trying to do is build on your vocabulary and make you feel a little more comfortable using the stuff that you do know, okay? So that you can put more stuff together and say more things. The focus of this particular course is going to be you talking about yourself, the stuff you like to do, describing yourself, describing other people. We're going to learn to talk about the past, learn to talk about the future, and we're going to talk about food, restaurants, ordering food, and stuff like that. Okay? So the focus is going to be a lot on you being able to talk about yourself and hopefully understand a little bit more French. So please don't feel pressured like, oh my God, I don't know how to have a fluent conversation in French. That's okay. Okay. And when you're writing, go for short and simple sentences. Okay. Because your margin for error becomes much, much smaller when you do. I'm hoping that if you're going to use like a translator or something, you're not going to put a whole sentence in there, okay? You're going to look for individual words maybe instead, okay? A word that you don't know. Use it almost like a dictionary. But don't write a whole sentence in English and then throw it in the translator, okay? Half the time it comes out wrong. Or other times the translator really doesn't know what you're trying to say, doesn't know the context. So really try yourself small, short, simple sentences, okay? And get those really, really perfect. And then we'll move on from there. D'accord? All right. I wanted to do a little introduction to French stuff. But before we do that, to get us talking a little bit more, I'm going to share my screen now and I'm going to show you some, we've got some categories here. Okay, where's the chat? There's the chat. We've got some categories here. I'd like you to choose any one of these categories, the category of your choice, okay, and answer that question. Say something about it. So we've got ma classe préférée, my favorite class, dans mon sac à dos, in my backpack. So in my backpack, I have, I don't know, a pencil. Mon livre préféré, my favorite book. Ma série préférée, my favorite series. So that can be a Netflix show, TV show, whatever. Mon acteur or mon actrice préférée, my favorite actor or actress. Ma boisson préférée, my favorite drink. Mon plat préféré, my favorite dish. Mon petit déjeuner, or ce que j'aime manger, what you like to eat for breakfast. And mon dîner, so depends on where you are. It could be lunch, it could be dinner. Mon dîner, ce que j'aime manger, what you like to eat for dinner. So I'm going to give you a few moments. You can choose any one of these, something short and simple, okay? So if you wanted to say, for example, my favorite book, you would say mon livre préféré est, and then you can tell me the name, like Harry Potter, okay? And if you don't know how to say what you want to say in French, you can just say what's here in the category, and then you can say the word in English, d'accord? And I'll help you out. Ça va? So whenever you're ready, you can write moi in the chat and we'll take it from there, just like we just did when you were introducing yourselves. D'accord? Maybe I can start then. Let's see. I'm going to choose ma série préférée. I have lots of them, but I'm going to pick one off the top of my head. Ma série préférée est Vikings. That's one of them. So we'll get started here. We've got people wanting to start. Awesome. Oui, Cassie, did you have a question or you want to start us off? Cassie, I'm afraid I can't hear you. Did you have a question? You wanted to say your dîner?
Yeah, for mon dîner. Do I just put like my favorite food, or what do I add to it?
Yeah, what you would like to have for dinner. So you can say like here, ce que j'aime manger pour mon dîner So what I like to eat for dinner is like EST, and then you can say it either in French or in English.
All right, thank you.
D'accord? You're welcome. So it looks like Tremaine is ready. We'll start off with you, Tremaine. Vas-y.
Ma série préférée est The Boondocks.
D'accord, merci beaucoup. Et oui, Laura? Oh, you wrote it down. Can you say it out loud for us, Laura?
Mon livre préféré est Percy Jackson.
Merci beaucoup. Bravo. Who was next? Melissa. No, you don't have to say why.
Mon acteur préféré est Cole Sprouse.
Merci beaucoup. Très bien. And then we have John.
Mon petit déjeuner est crêpes.
D'accord. Crêpes, like pancakes?
Yep.
Très bien. Crêpes. Bravo. Oui, Peter.
Ma classe préférée est les mathématiques.
Très bien. Merci beaucoup. Oui, Ariane?
Ma classe préférée est
Which one? Sorry, you cut off.
anglais.
L'anglais. Très bien. Merci beaucoup. Oui, Toya?
Mon classe préférée est l'anglais.
Et l'anglais. Très bien. Merci. Oui, Cassie?
Ce que j'aime manger pour mon dîner est les tacos.
Les tacos. Très bien. Merci beaucoup. Oui, Gershon?
Ma classe préférée est math.
Les mathématiques. Très bien. Très bien. Merci beaucoup. Et who's next? Kushi?
Dans mon sac à dos, j'ai un crayon.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Yes, Sanji, you can just write it in the chat. Tom Cruise, d'accord. Merci beaucoup. Assis?
Ma série préférée, Outer Banks.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et toi, Archie?
Ma série préférée est Friends et Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et toi, Hadia?
Ma série préférée est Grey's Anatomy.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Oui, Kevin?
Ma série préférée est The 100.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Et toi, Jasraj?
Mon dîner préféré est la pizza.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Oui, Nicholas? Oops, we can't hear you again, hon. We're having trouble. You want to write it down? Which one were you going to choose? Attack on Titan. D'accord, merci beaucoup. Et Sébastien?
Mon acteur préféré est Dwayne Johnson.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. How about Kayla?
Mon boisson préféré is iced tea.
D'accord, le thé glacé. Le thé. I'm going to try to get an accent in here. Le thé. Oh, I might as well add another one because we're going to need it. Le thé glacé.
Ma classe préférée.
Thé glacé. Très bien, merci
Ma
beaucoup.
classe préférée.
Et Simran?
Ma classe préférée.
Ma classe préférée est mathématiques.
Très bien, merci.
Ma classe
How about you,
préférée.
Keen?
Ma classe préférée.
Moi?
Oui.
De...
Préféré.
Mon livre préféré
Préféré.
est...
Préféré. Préféré.
Harry Potter.
Préféré.
D'accord, très bien. It's a hard one, I know. I have a lot to choose from too. Merci, Kyle.
Ma classe préférée, mathematics.
Très bien, merci. Et Michaela?
Et
Ma
française.
series préférée, c'est
Et
Umbrella
française.
Academy.
Très bien, merci beaucoup.
Et
Et
française.
Tania?
Et française.
Mon acteur préféré, Adam Sandler.
Très bien, merci. Et toi, Precious, can you write it down for us? Très bien, merci beaucoup. And how about Sanjit? Oh, Sanjit, you already told us your acteur préféré. And quoi? Et le français, merci beaucoup. And Toya?
Ma classe préférée, l'anglais.
Et l'anglais, bravo, merci beaucoup, everybody. C'est fantastique, très bien. So what I want to do now is show you, I'm going to do a little presentation for you, d'accord? All about French and a little bit of French culture. We're not going to focus on France this year. We're going to look at different countries as well. But to get us started, we're going to look at France here, d'accord? So bienvenue, welcome, d'accord? And everybody knows what this thing is? Somebody want to say it for me because I can't see the chat right now?
The Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower, exactement. And where do we find this?
Paris.
Paris.
Oui, très bien, in Paris, bravo. So, la francophonie, French is spoken in many countries around the world, and all of those countries put together we call la francophonie. If someone is a francophone, it means that they speak French. Just like everyone here is an anglophone, we all speak English, d'accord? So a francophone is a French-speaking person, and la francophonie is all the countries in the world where French is spoken. Can you guess some?
Belgium.
Très bien.
France.
France.
Oui, la France. Let's do moi in the chat so that it's a little easier. Or if you want to say it out loud, you can write moi or you can write the country. Yes. Actually, no, not Nigeria, but that's a good guess. It's a good guess. Quebec, yes, and not just Quebec, but Canada as a whole. If you can see all this right here in Canada, we've got all French is one of our official languages. So Quebec and Canada. Oui, Algeria, très bien, Keen. L'Algérie, bravo. Haiti, bravo, John. Morocco, yes, Cassie, excellent. Madagascar, très bien, right here in the middle of the Indian Ocean, right there. Well, not in the middle. Niger, no, not quite, but very close. Chad, oui, très bien. Burkina Faso, oui, très bien. Any others you can think of? We said France already. That's the big obvious one. Mauritius, yes. Mauritius, which is very close to Madagascar, right here. Île Maurice. Côte d'Ivoire, très bien. If anyone's a soccer fan, you'll know that Côte d'Ivoire has some awesome players. Bravo. Oui, Melissa.
Ivory Coast.
Oui, Ivory Coast. That's another one where another country that has some awesome soccer players too. And that's Côte d'Ivoire. Okay, Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. Oui, John, what were you going to say? I guess not. Sanyo, Luxembourg, oui, très bien. No, no one said Congo yet. Democratic Republic of Congo, très bien. He's in the waiting room. Merci. Thank you for letting me know. How do I get there? There I am. And we're gonna let in Phoeben. He should be here. He should be here. Nope, he's not here. He's not in the waiting room. Nope. Thank you for letting me know, but he's not in the waiting room. At least not right now. Maybe he's having some technical difficulties today. If you see him again, let me know, s'il vous plaît, okay? Let me know if you see him again. Merci. Where were we? We were here, and I had my chat going. Très bien. Yes, it ends at 2:15. Yes, Switzerland. Excellent. Good. Good. That's another one. Très bien. Any others you can think of? Any others? Monaco, oui, très bien. Monaco is part of France. Yeah, good. Togo, good. Luxembourg, we said. Awesome. Très bien. Any other countries you can think of? What about this one here? What about all of these right here? Any idea what some of those are? We said one so far. We said Haiti. That's the only one we got so far. Réunion, yes. Yep. What about right here? Bahamas is down there, yes, but not and Jamaica too, yes, but both of those not French speaking. Cameroon, très bien. Cameroun est ici, en Afrique, très bien. Has anybody ever heard of Martinique? Martinique or Saint-Martin? Saint-Martin. Okay? In the Caribbean, Saint-Martin, d'accord? Or Martinique. How about Saint Lucia in the Caribbean? Saint Lucie, d'accord? We also have Trinidad, but not a French-speaking country. We also have French Guyana and Suriname, d'accord? Also there. It's a whole bunch of places. Senegal, bravo, that's another one. Très bien. Senegal is another one. Lots and lots and lots of countries that speak French, d'accord? So they are all part of what we call la francophonie, the French-speaking world. And we're going to move on to the next one. Everybody knows that hello in French is bonjour. We can also say salut. Salut is very informal, so that means you only say it with people that you know very, very well. And in Canada, you can use salut as hello and goodbye. So hi and bye, salut. Okay? Usually we just say bonjour. And many of you have learned that after 6 o'clock, we don't say bonjour anymore. We say bonsoir. Okay? After 6 o'clock. Bonsoir. To say hello and tell someone what your name is, we already practiced that. Bonjour, je m'appelle. Okay, you say bonjour, je m'appelle. You already said this to introduce yourselves to the class, so we're done that part. Très bien. To say you're happy to meet someone, you can either say enchanté, okay, and there's two different versions here. They sound exactly the same, enchanté or enchanté. One is for a guy if you're writing or reading, and this one is if you're a girl, d'accord? Otherwise, they sound the same. Enchanté. You can also say ravi de faire votre or ta connaissance. If it's someone that's your age, you can say ravi de faire ta connaissance. You use the tu form. If it's someone older than you, you could say ravi de faire votre connaissance. That's like the vous form, okay? So vous form, a stranger or someone much older than you, like I'd say over 20, okay? The tu form with anyone that's your age or younger or up to 20, d'accord? Comment ça va is to ask someone, how are you? Comment ça va? You can say, Bien, merci. Et toi? If it's someone your age, okay? I'm someone young saying, I'm well, thanks. And you? Okay. You can also answer, ça va bien, which means you're good. You're having a good day. You can say, ça va, if you're having an okay day. It's not great. It's not horrible, whatever. No one actually says, comme ci, comme ça. Okay. That's important to know because I know in Canada, a lot of people, a lot of teachers teach you how to say comme ci, comme ça, but no one actually says that. Okay. Instead of comme ci, comme ça, ça va, ça va. If you're having a bad day, ça va mal or ça ne va pas. Okay, if you're having a bad day. So how about you? Comment ça va? Anybody would like to answer this? Give it a shot at saying, answering. Oui, Keen.
Bien, merci. Et tout?
Merci. Très bien, merci. Bravo. Would anybody else like to answer? Comment ça va?
Ça va bien et tout?
Très bien, merci. Anyone else want to practice? Comment ça va? You're a shy, tough crowd. Okay, we'll keep going. On va continuer. We'll keep going. Très bien.
Madame?
Oui.
They said that they're in the waiting room.
Phoeben's trying again? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Merci beaucoup. We'll stop sharing this for a second. Where is he in the waiting room?
Madame.
Hi. Oui.
Just wanted to let you know his name's Febin, not Phoeben.
Febin, merci beaucoup. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Where is he? I can't see him anywhere. Shucks. He's not here anywhere. Where is he? Oh la la. Okay, this is wide open. He can just come right in. I don't think he's in the right waiting room. Oh boy. Let's see if Febin, give me 1 second, guys. Let's see if Febin is here. Okay, I'm gonna try to send him a new link and see if it'll work for Febin and help him get into our class. Merci, Laura. Thank you for trying to help him out. Let's see if we can get Febin into our class. I'm just gonna hold here for 1 second and see if I can see him. Oh, there you are. Finally, bonjour, Febin. Sorry about that. Nice to have you with us. Ça va bien?
Yeah.
Très bien, merci beaucoup. All right. So we're going to continue with our presentation here. Where were we? So, this might come as a shock to some of you, but kissing is very common when greeting family and friends. Okay? Oui, Keen, what were you going to say? Were you going to say something, Keen? No? Okay. I don't know. You said moi there. I wasn't sure. I just wanted to double check. Okay. So when you're greeting family members and friends, it's very common to kiss each other on the cheek, and the number depends on where you are in France. Usually it's once on each cheek, but sometimes it's more. And we call this faire la bise. In business dealings, however, shaking hands is the norm, okay? So whether you're a guy or a girl and you're meeting family members, it's very common to kiss each other on the cheek, both males and females and females, okay? Girlfriends will kiss each other on the cheek when they meet each other. A girl and a guy that are friends will kiss each other on the cheek when they meet each other. Generally, most guys, if they're just friends, if they're not family members, they don't kiss each other on the cheek. They might hug, they might shake hands or whatever. And in business, we always shake hands. Anybody know who this guy is? If you do, can you
President of
write moi?
France.
Yes, it's the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. That's his wife, and this is the chancellor of Germany. They were at some meeting, and so he's doing the very traditional greeting of kissing her on the cheek. And this does not just happen in France, d'accord? It happens in many other countries. You got a fun fact about him, Melissa? You want to share?
Yes. I found out on one of the on the website that she's actually married to his former high school teacher.
That's right. That's right. She's like 20 years older than him.
24 years older than him.
Yeah, that's his high school teacher right there. That's his wife. Exactly. Très bien. And that's totally cool in France. It's not a big deal. D'accord? Not a big deal at all. So that's faire la bise. Merci, Melissa. Thanks for sharing that. We will continue. Oops. Woo! So the French flag is called le tricolore because it's got tri-colors. 1, 2, 3. Très bien. It was adopted in 1794 after the French Revolution. How many of you have ever heard of the whole story of the King and Queen of France, Marie Antoinette and Louis the 17th getting their heads cut off? You ever heard that story? Okay, that happened during the French Revolution. The origins of this flag comes from the city of Paris, and the city of Paris's flag was red and blue at the time. And because it was the people of Paris who started that revolution, they decided to create this flag afterwards. Prior to 1794, the flag of France looked very different, and we're going to take a look at it in just a second. France's national holiday is called Bastille Day or La Fête Nationale. It's just like Canada Day, but it's on July the 14th. And it commemorates the day that the revolution began with the storming of a very famous prison called La Bastille. It's a crazy party all over the country, especially in Paris. Lots of fireworks. It's crazy. What happened with La Bastille is that at that time, they had so many people in prison just for talking shade about the king and queen and all that stuff about the government. They just threw them all in prison. The people of Paris decided that's it, no more. So they stormed the prison, they killed all the guards and they freed all the prisoners, and then it just started absolute chaos. And the next thing you know, you got the French Revolution going on. But you learn more about that in like grade 11 and 12 if you take French. So before that, the flag of France looked like this, okay? So you've got the royal blue of the royal family, and then you have the fleur de lis, which was the symbol of the royal family. The flag of Quebec, you probably recognize it, is based on the old flag of France. And this flag is called La Fleur de Lys because it's got the fleur de lis on it. In Quebec, they celebrate St. John the Baptist Day, June the 24th, which is kind of like the national holiday of Quebec, and it's called La Saint-Jean-Baptiste. So that's kind of like, almost like their Canada Day, but it's more like Quebec Day, d'accord? It's very important too. Joan of Arc is France's patron saint, and she is responsible for the unification of France during the 100 Years' War. a very, very important young lady. In the 1400s, she helped to save France. If it were not for this girl, France would probably not exist today. In every major city of France, you will find some kind of statue to Joan of Arc, either one that looks like this of her in her armor with her flag on her horse, or of her standing in her armor with her flag, etc. The big deal about Joan of Arc is that she was a girl. Okay, in the 1400s, if you're a girl, you don't go about commanding armies and telling people that God has told you to do something, like go talk to the king and tell him that he has to unite the people of France. You don't tell people that you have saints speaking to you. Basically, they would look at you as a girl, a 17-year-old girl, by the way, and tell you, number one, you don't know how to read. Number two, you don't know how to write. Number three, you're nothing but a silly little farm girl. And why the heck would God pick a girl for something so important? Because in the 1400s, you have two jobs: get married and have babies. Okay, that was your job. And be a good wife, or a good nun, depending on what you were going to do in France. That was your job. Joan of Arc was something extraordinary. She didn't even realize it. In the end, however, the English caught her, the English government. They caught her because she did something that really destroyed their plans of taking over France. So they caught her. They put her on trial, a completely unfair trial, and then they burned her alive when she was 19 years old. And they didn't burn her once or twice. They burned her 3 times to make sure there was nothing left of her. But in the end, anyways, people always remembered her, because if it wasn't for her, France would not exist. So very important person, Joan of Arc. Contrary to popular belief, soccer is not France's national sport, even though almost everybody absolutely loves it. Cycling is France's national sport. And in many cities, main streets are closed on Sundays, so people can go with their families or by themselves and ride their bikes and rollerblade, skateboard, and do whatever. Okay? So whatever has wheels on it, you take over the streets on Sundays because they love cycling. France's national soccer team is called Les Bleus, the Blues. And by the way, this is the team right now. When cheering for the national team, if you go to a soccer game, you say, Allez les Bleus. It's like saying, let's go you Blues, okay? If anybody's a Toronto FC or a Manchester United fan, they say, let's go you Reds, okay? So the French is same thing, except it's bleu, because that's their color. Allez les Bleus. Food is very, very popular, French food, and the national dish is called pot au feu, which literally means pot in the fire. It's a hot dish of stewing steak, root vegetables, and spices. French dishes that you know of or you have tried. Sorry, I just checked into the chat. Yes, John, she was burned alive. Exactly. Poor Joan. Any French dishes that you know of or that you have tried? If you'd like to say something, you can write moi in the chat or you can write it down for us. Has anybody ever tried any French dishes? No one? Of course croissants count, even though they're not technically French. Believe it or not. Chocolate soufflé, oui. French fries doesn't count because they're not French either.
What about macarons?
Macarons, yes. We're about to look at some. Macarons are definitely French. Très bien, oui. I'm not sure why they're called French fries. I have no idea.
They're Belgian. They're not even French.
Exactly. Très bien. Oui, crêpes. Crêpes are very French. Très bien. A soufflé, exactly. Très bien. Good. Good.
Crème brulee, French?
Crème brûlée, yes, exactly. It's even got a French name. It's called burnt cream. And frog legs, sure, why not? Escargot, snails. Yep, escargot or snails. D'accord. Yep, lots of stuff. Très bien. So you do know quite a bit of them. Font and onion soup, French onion soup. Très bien. This is ratatouille, and it's not got nothing to do with the movie. It's a traditional dish from the south of France, and it's a stew made with eggplant, zucchini, squash, and peppers. D'accord? So it's got nothing to do with the movie Ratatouille. France is also well known for desserts. Below are the traditional tarte tatin, which is basically an open apple pie, and as someone said, macaron. How many of you have tried macaron before? A couple of people have tried macaron. I know someone said. D'accord? Macarons are, and please don't call them macaroons. Macaroons are something totally different. Okay, macaroons look like this. I hear people calling them macaroons all the time. But macaroons, you see this? This is so wrong. These are not macaroons. These are macaroons, the things made with shredded coconut. These are macaroons. These things are macarons. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a fit. Okay. They're really expensive, and they're not very big. It's because they're so time consuming. They take so much time to make, and that's why they're so expensive. Here in Brampton, I think there's a place down on Queen Street near Maine where they sell macarons. Okay, so now you know the difference. Macaroons are the shredded coconut balls, and these are macarons. Macarons, a little bit different. Très bien. Boo! All right. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that will help you one day win a trivia contest. In France, people are so picky about their croissant. If they are made with butter, only croissants that are made with butter are made straight like the ones in this picture, okay? It is a law in France. If a croissant is made with margarine, the ends are curved so that people know. Okay, this happened because some sneaky bakers were selling margarine croissants for the price of butter croissants, and butter is much more expensive. So if you're a thief baker and one of these inspectors finds out that you've been selling margarine croissants for the price of butter, you are in for a hefty fine, something like $20,000 to $30,000. I kid you not. Okay, it's serious business. But again, this only applies in France. This does not apply to the Sobeys or the No Frills down the street. Okay, only in France. Now you know. If you ever go, you'll know. In Quebec, we've got poutine, which many people have probably tried. It's, oops, announcement. It's Quebec's national dish, d'accord? And then we've got tourtière, which is the tradition for Christmas and New Year's. And this is just a mixed meat pie, d'accord? Qui aime la poutine? Qui aime la poutine? Who likes poutine? Qui aime la poutine? Lots of people, beaucoup de monde. D'accord. Bravo. C'est très bon. D'accord. Sugar pie is Quebec's national dessert, along with anything that's made with maple syrup. D'accord? This is an example of a traditional sugar pie. Tarte au sucre. Then we've got cheese, of course. There are more than 400 different kinds of official cheeses in France, and every region has its own special kind of cheese. How many of you have heard of Brie or Camembert or Roquefort? You've heard of some of these? D'accord? The stinkier, apparently, the better. So yeah, lots and lots of cheese. The French put cheese on just about anything. Paris is the location of the Louvre. It's a famous museum. Okay, it used to be a royal palace back in the day. It's where Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa is housed, along with many other treasures and lots of stuff that was stolen from all around the world. This particular pyramid was built for the millennium in the year 2000. Before this pyramid was built, people used to enter the museum on ground level. Now you have to go down an escalator into the basement of the museum and you enter from there. Some people love it, some people hate it. It is what it is. In French, the Mona Lisa is called La Joconde. Her name is La Joconde in French. Does anybody know why this painting is so famous? Anybody take a guess? And it's not because of her smile, and it's not because she has no eyebrows. Yeah, some people say it looks like the eyes are following you, but it's not that either. Sure, it's one of a kind. It's priceless, yeah. Many people are really surprised that when they go see this thing in person, it's so small. It's like really small. It's not, okay, it's not much bigger than like the size of a piece of paper. It's not that big, okay? It's not because Da Vinci painted it. I'll tell you why. Leonardo da Vinci, no, wasn't his wife. Leonardo da Vinci never married. He was quite the player, let me tell you that. This lady was someone else's wife, and pretty sure that Leonardo used the time to paint her to not be very nice to her husband. Uh, the reason why this painting is so famous, no, she wasn't the wife of a king. She was the wife of an Italian businessman. The reason why this painting is so famous is because Leonardo da Vinci was the very first person to be able to paint perspective. Okay? One side of the painting is closer up, the other side of the painting is further away. And Leonardo da Vinci was the very first person to be able to do that. No one had ever been able to do that before in a painting. So to us, it's not a very big deal, but you know that when you're the first person to be able to do something, it's always a big deal, okay? So it became very, very famous for that reason. The reason why she has no eyebrows, by the way, is because that was extremely popular at the time. It's very popular for young Italian ladies to have a very high forehead. And if you don't have a very high forehead, what can you do to make it look higher? You get rid of your eyebrows, okay? Nowadays, everyone's trying to have perfect eyebrows, and eyebrows are on fleek all over the place. Meanwhile, back in this time in the 1500s in Italy, girls were getting rid of their eyebrows. Of course, this is just the rich people, okay? Everybody else was working way too hard to worry about any of this business. They couldn't worry about it. But that's why she has no eyebrows, simply because with the upper classes, it was popular in Italy at the time. D'accord? La Tour Eiffel is France's most iconic symbol. That means everybody associates the Eiffel Tower with France. It was built for the World Expo of 1887 by a guy, an architect, named Gustave Eiffel. That's why it's called the Eiffel Tower, La Tour Eiffel. It was supposed to be taken down. Most people absolutely hated it at the time because it stuck out so badly. But the tourists loved it, so they kept it. And every year, millions of tourists go to France, not this year, of course, but most other years, to visit the Eiffel Tower. Now, this is the first level here, and it doesn't look very high, but let me tell you, it takes 400 and something steps up one of these legs to get to this level. And this level, once you get there, you realize it is huge. There's a conference center here. There's a bathroom here. There's a a little coffee shop there. There is a souvenir shop there. Okay, costs about $15 roughly to use the stairs to get to this first level. One of these legs, I can't remember which one, has an elevator, and you can take that elevator to get to this level, to get to the second level, which is much smaller, but you can only get there by elevator, or to go all the way to the very top. There's a radio station up there, a weather station, and a restaurant all the way up there that you can go to as well. Okay? Statue of Liberty. Many people don't know this, but the Statue of Liberty in New York was actually a gift to the people of the United States from the people of France. So they actually built the thing, tipped it over, and shipped it over to the US on a boat, a huge boat. Has anyone ever been to Ellis Island and seen the Statue of Liberty? Really? Awesome. How big is it? It's huge. I've never seen it myself, but I've seen it in movies and it looks really, really big. Exactly. Imagine how big that boat was. Okay. There's a smaller version that looks exactly the same of the Statue of Liberty, a very small version. I'd say it's about no more than 6 feet tall. And it's near Notre Dame Cathedral, right at the back near the river. And you can see it one day if you go to Paris and you take a boat tour on the River Seine, you'll be able to see that little mini version of the Statue of Liberty. Notre Dame Cathedral, very famous, of course. It was a couple of years ago. There was a huge fire there. Anybody ever watched the movie The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney movie? Some of you may have watched it. Okay. It's set here in this cathedral. Okay, it's a very famous story written by Victor Hugo, and it's Quasimodo who lived here in this cathedral. Okay, this place is always jam-packed. Yes, it caught fire. The whole roof, which was still made of wood, completely burnt out. It was an electrical fire because they were doing some renovations. This thing, they started building it over 1,000 years ago, believe it or not. And it took like 200 and something years to finally finish it back in the day. If you can imagine back in the day without machinery 1,000 years ago, okay, it's mind-blowing how people were able to do this. I don't think we could pay anybody to build something like this nowadays. It would be billions of dollars. This is a very, very popular attraction in Paris. It's called the Catacombs. It's underground, and there are millions of bones lining a huge maze under the city of Paris. So what they did is they dug up a whole bunch of cemeteries way back when that were in the middle of Paris. They took all the bones, and the whole maze is done by cemetery. So each individual cemetery, all the bones are still all together, and it tells you which cemetery it came from. You can't go through the whole thing because it's many kilometers. You can only visit some parts of this maze, and it's extremely busy all the time. If you try to get in through one of the secret entrances or whatever, you may get lost, which is not a good thing to do because this poor guy, Philibert Aspère, in 1793, I don't know why he went down there. I don't know if he was meeting someone or what happened, but the poor guy got lost. And in 1793, there was no electricity, so he probably used a torch, and his torch burnt out, and he's walking around here in the dark, no idea where he's going, but he got lost, and they found his body 11 years later, 500 meters from an exit. So he died down there because he got lost. So you're only allowed to visit a very small section of the catacombs, and people are lined up like all day long to visit this thing.
Excuse me? Yes. There's actually people that down there now. There's so many secret entrances, and the place is so big, people live down there and do rituals.
Oh, I'm sure there are. Yeah, there's people, there's like bands that go down there to jam. Emo people go down there and hang out and watch movies and chill all the time. It is so big and there are several entrances. You're absolutely right. If you really wanted to, you might be able to live down there. You can't actually stay there because there are like cops that go through there all the time to make sure that people aren't actually living down there because it's really not allowed. But yeah, if you know where to go, you can just go there all the time. And some people still do. Some people still do. However, if you're caught, you are going to be charged and you're going to get a hefty fine because you're not supposed to be down there. But people still do it, just like you said. Colmar has been voted the prettiest town in all of France, like for years on end. It's also got a very famous Christmas market, and it's called the Venice of France because it's got lots of canals down there. Yeah, I'm sure they do bare illegal stuff down there in those canals. And voila, I hope you enjoyed this short introduction to France and French culture. And hopefully, we're going to learn interesting stuff in French that you'll be able to use. What kind of croissants are these? Margarine or butter? Who was listening? Who was paying
Margarine.
attention? Margarine. Good. You were paying attention. Bravo. Bravo. This is a very typical French breakfast, okay? You've got a big café au lait, which you wouldn't find in a restaurant unless you're going to a cafe for breakfast only. Café au lait is usually something you make at home and something you have just for breakfast, not at any other time of the day. You've got more milk there if you want, and you have a glass of water that always comes with it, d'accord? When you ask for a coffee, you get coffee. You put your own sugar in it, etc. D'accord? So what was the most interesting thing, if there was anything interesting at all, that you just learned through that presentation? Say moi, write moi in the chat, please, and you can let us know. John, about the croissants? D'accord. Anybody else? Something that you learned today that you wanna share? Oui, Sanji. Oh, the number of steps to go up the Eiffel Tower? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. About the Statue of Liberty? D'accord. That cycling is the national sport. Like everybody, just about everybody loves soccer. Like families have fights because certain people like a different soccer team. It's nuts. Okay, that happens a lot in many countries, not just France. But yeah, they like cycling a lot. About the Statue of Liberty, Laura. D'accord, merci. Any others that you found interesting? Anything else? That someone got lost and died in the catacombs, poor guy. Okay, awesome. Guys, thank you so much. This was an awesome first class. If anybody has any questions or you want to talk to me about something, you can always hang around in the chat. Okay, I'll hang around for a few minutes. Some of you still got to catch up on some work, please. Okay, if you haven't done it, can you please catch up on it as soon as possible so you don't fall behind? Tomorrow, we're going to finish up our review. And then next week on Monday, we're going to get started with our actual grade 9 course. Okay, so merci beaucoup and bonne journée. Au revoir. Merci, au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir,
Au revoir.
merci.